Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Starting 11 here on the Let's Get Ready Network, the highlights. I'm Adelia, that's my buddy Snark. We're here to talk about the week that was in the English Premier League. We're going to touch on an FA Cup game because it's got ramifications for a team in the English Premier League, and somebody might be getting fired, we heard today.
Ooh, again, two stories. It's going to break my heart. It's going to break my ever-loving, generous heart. It couldn't happen to two finer squads. It's going to be a shame. It's going to be a real shame. Yes, another... Okay, so yeah, not a really busy week in the league. There was only 9 games, lots of FA Cup stuff going on. Here's the deal. Now they got the international break coming up. So we're actually not even on next week for Starting 11. We have to wait till the week after when there's all kinds of matches. I think everybody plays 8 times next week. It's crazy. It's crazy. Tuesday matches, Wednesday matches, Friday matches, Saturday matches, Sunday matches. Oh my God.
It's going to be
so
a busy week.
They're packing them in here. Coming close to the end of the year. Only a couple more months to go. But Patrick Vieira will not be. I guess he has an extended vacation now. The once invincible man, not so invincible as a manager, he got the boot.
Yeah.
He got the boot following his club's loss at Crystal Palace. And here's the deal with Crystal Palace. Defensively, they're pretty good. They're a really good team defensively. They just can't score goals, and they got the guys to do it. Like that first 10 minutes, they should have had 3 goals. They just couldn't score.
Yep.
And it's not just Zaha. It's Olise. Olise, 1-on-1 with the keeper. 1-on-1. Couldn't beat him. That's just kind of that's the year they're having. They haven't had a win all year. Not in 2023.
Yeah.
The last win was a New Year's Eve match. I think they beat Bournemouth 2-0 or something like that. So yeah, but still only they're 12th on the table. Like they had a good start. But they're 5th from relegation. 5 points out of relegation. This whole bottom of the table is bananas. It's maybe more interesting to see who gets the last 3 to go than it is at the top right now. I think the cream has separated. We know who the top 2 are going to be. Now it's to figure out who 4 or 5, maybe 6 is. But Brighton, and of course to score, maybe 2 of the most informed players in the league right now. Mitoma finding Solly March, and a real nice run in by Solly March, and Mitoma just knew where he was going. That's just 2 guys.
It's a fantastic pass from Mitoma.
2 guys who like playing together, love offense. Mitoma, what a last couple of months really since World Cup break.
Yeah.
Mitoma, oh my God, Brighton. It's so hard to think of Brighton as a good team, and not just a good team, a great team. Like I think they're in 7th now. They're 7th in the table. Brighton and Hove Albion, the Seagulls, the Flying Rats. Oh my gosh. Well, Patrick Vieira. How about a couple anecdotes on Patrick Vieira? I'm sure you'll always appreciate him for 2004. It was a big deal. Never getting beaten. Of course, the last title Arsenal ever won. Are you sad? He had 20 months on the job, couldn't get the job done. The players were okay. They were playing defensively. He can't go out there and score goals for them. He puts them in spots where they should score. And I think they said the board was heartbroken to do it. They really didn't want to do it, but they were put in a position now where they couldn't do anything else. The man on the pitch versus the man off the pitch. What did you think of Patrick Vieira, Adelia?
Patrick Vieira was an incredible player, and I think he has the right stuff to be a really good manager one day. I just don't think he has the experience as a manager yet to necessarily get them out of the trouble that they're in when his players aren't scoring goals. Because, like you said, he can't go out there and score goals for them. And I was really sad to see that Patrick Vieira lost his job, but I wasn't
Yeah.
surprised to see that Patrick Vieira lost his job.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's something that we've been talking about it for a while. I think ever since that loss
Yeah.
at Chelsea in January, it was really like, yeah, this is not going to be long for him. And he actually made it a little further than I expected. I think he beat Frankie Lampard. He beat Frankie Lampard.
Yeah,
Well,
he
there you
did.
go. Well, congratulations on a good start to your managerial career. Like I think if you did, like anybody needs defensive help. Like as a coach, you pick him up. You pick him up right now because he's fantastic at it.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that he doesn't have to press guys to score. Uh, the other match that happened on Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday. Uh, Brentford beats Southampton because yeah, all right. Brentford back to their winning ways after a
Yeah.
surprise. I would think loss against Everton, but yeah, Southampton did what Southampton. Southampton is going to have a better end of the week than they did beginning of the week. Let's
Yes,
just
they
say
did
that.
have a better end of the week than the
Let's just say
beginning of the
that.
week.
Yeah. Guys like James Ward-Prowse, Carlos Alcaraz, going to be pretty highly valued, I think, over the summer. I do not see Southampton climbing out of relegation.
No.
Um, yes, but it's just a matter of where do you fit James Ward-Prowse in the Premier League? He scores. He can score off a set piece. Like he can score from he scores a penalty kick later on this week. Uh, but he's been in the league now 9 years. Who needs a veteran midfielder that's really good at set pieces, but isn't like it's not going to be Chelsea. Chelsea's midfield is clogged. Like they got too many people right now. They're not going to add another. And I think with Trossard over at Arsenal, he's not going to go there. I could
No.
see, I could see Tottenham making a big push for him, which would be an odd thing to see. James Ward-Prowse on Tottenham,
That would be something.
especially if some things happen and somebody isn't playing there next week or next year. But we'll see. That's long ways to go till then. Long way to go. Uh, okay,
Can
so
I just say on this game
yeah.
that I was so confused because I went from watching tennis to watching this game, and the number one men's tennis player in the world right now is named Carlos Alcaraz. So
Two
I
smart
turned on
guys
this
like
game
Deion
and they
Sanders,
started.
like Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I turned on this game and I heard them talking about Carlos Alcaraz, and I got very confused for a minute. And then I went, "Oh yeah, that's right. There's a player at Southampton who's also named Carlos Alcaraz."
Yeah, Carlos Alcaraz is as popular name as like Tom Smith. Uh, Forest and Newcastle. Now we do our predictions every week,
Mm-hmm.
and I had predicted my only draw being Forest and Newcastle, and I
Yeah.
was right, except in the 91st minute when that guy jumps up and pushes the
Yeah.
ball.
Like,
What are
what
you
was he
doing?
doing?
What are you doing?
That's a handball penalty if I've ever seen one. Like, what was he thinking?
And of the two major handball calls this week, this one was pretty. I think everyone just got it. It was like the hand of God if it didn't come in. It was like,
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, what a yeah, terrible, terrible, terrible. But again, it's Isak, 2 goals for the Swede. It's good to see him come alive, and it's good for Newcastle. They needed to get some wins strung together in fifth spot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when are they gonna
They're only a
go?
couple points behind Spurs, aren't they?
They're they're 2 points behind Spurs, and they got 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
So I think that it really solidifies a grip on possibly playing Champions League football next year. Certainly opening up some space on Liverpool for uh, for just playing European football. You could always play Europa League, but I think that's a spot reserved maybe for Tottenham. Maybe not Tottenham. Maybe this is Tottenham's downfall. We're gonna find out because we're gonna talk about their match pretty soon. Villa played Bournemouth.
It was a game.
Yep, Villa won 3-0. Uh, yeah, they've played. I think the last 4 games. They're unbeaten in their last 4 games. Phil. 3 wins and a
Yeah.
draw, I believe. Pretty good for Villa.
Villa's done really well since Unai Emery took over.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. Uh, I was a huge fan of Leicester somehow picking up a draw against the Bees. Uh, their first points in their last 4 games, they had not been playing well. I'd like to mention the last time they got points was then when they beat another North London club 4-1. And it's not the one that you cheers for. I've been
No, it was not.
gonna say that. Maybe Brentford a little tired from playing on Wednesday. Uh,
Maybe.
maybe. Uh, it shouldn't have been. It's just maybe just didn't have it. Didn't have it in. Or Leicester found something. Leicester dug deep, I guess. Found a way to
Yeah.
get a result finally after being thoroughly outplayed by Chelsea. Yeah, good for them. You know, it's not a win. You need wins, especially where they are in the table. That whole bottom of the whole bottom of the league is going to be up and down here, but
It's going to be
where is it?
crazy.
They're so far
The
down.
relegation battle is so interesting right now.
They're 17th. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Not. Yeah. This isn't. They're a point out of being relegated. The Foxes, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But a good result. A good result for them. I'm sorry if I'm talking a little fast because the next match we're talking about is Southampton and Spurs. So
I watched this match live.
I
I
was
was like, "Oh,
watching.
this is fine,"
I
and then
was
it
watching it
became really
live.
interesting.
I was watching it live until the Spurs went up 3-1. And I said, I am not going to watch Spurs clean someone's goddamn clock. That was at the
Yeah.
75-minute mark, I believe, when I turned the channel. And I started watching Leeds and West Ham, or Leeds and the Wolves. Uh, boy, was my face red when I believe I was talking to you when you said, oh no, they came back.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was so mad. I was so mad I missed it. Uh, yeah, and a penalty in extra time. But
Yeah.
yeah, oh my gosh. And the ghost, like Theo Walcott scored. The
Theo
ghost,
Walcott scored for the first time in like 40 games, I think they
the
said.
ghost of Theo Walcott, one-time England starter Theo Walcott.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Yep.
It,
Well,
it was it was Theo Walcott scored in this game, and then I think the penalty was on a foul on Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So there's
it was.
Arsenal connection in there.
I thought it was Sar that may have done it, but here's the deal: I don't know where the penalty is. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what the penalty is either.
they and the ref was adamant. The ref came running up. Simon Hooper, of course, with his fucking head, comes running up, pointing to the spot right away, and the guy's on the ground. Oh, and I hate Spurs, but I kept looking at that and looking at
Yeah.
that, and he never touched him. Then it goes to VAR, and VAR backs it up. They back it
Yeah.
up. He never touched him.
I did not
Unbelievable.
understand the penalty call at all, but I was very amused by the fact that Spurs gave up the lead
Soft,
in that game.
soft call, but yes, very. Yeah, the result was pleasing. Now, after the match, Antonio Conte has his post-match press conference, where you would expect he would be mad at VAR. and he should be
Yeah.
mad at VAR because they did him dirty. It's about frigging time because you guys have had the benefit of VAR for far too goddamn long. I'm especially still angry about that Chelsea match at the bridge. It's ridiculous, but maybe this comes back to haunt you a little bit because yeah, that he never kicked him and never came close. But instead, Antonio Conte chooses as his wrath his own players.
Yeah.
He calls them selfish, he called them lazy, and that they all lack commitment to winning. He says there is a culture problem in Spurs. It's like, yeah, I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
This
He
is
also, I
not
think,
earth
went
shattering
after.
news.
Yeah, he also went after and said something along the lines of, "This it's been the same owner for 20 years. Why do you think they haven't won anything?"
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, they got a shiny new stadium. Um, Here, yeah, and then he had to come on and said, "No, I'm not talking. I wasn't talking about the board. I wasn't talking
Yeah.
about the board." Yeah, sorry, you were.
Yeah.
You were.
You
Uh,
were. You
yeah,
were.
news coming out now before, like, what is it? An hour before we go to tape this, that it looked like Conte was going to keep his job until at least the summer, and then they release him. But it looks like the players have all gone to that board and said, "No, we would like a change now." So it looks like maybe the assistant coach Ryan Mason is going to go be the manager for Spurs on an interim basis. I'm sure Ryan Mason, former Spur, I believe he played there for like 8 or 9 glorious years, won so many trophies. Such a winner,
Oh
Ryan
yeah.
Mason. Okay, good for you guys. Uh, yes, it makes uh, it makes the next result more palatable for me. Seeing
Okay.
that Tottenham absolutely fell to pieces because Chelsea did so as well, but on a lesser scale, I will say. Uh, Again, João Felix, nice goal. Uh, Here's the deal. Chelsea still cannot defend a goddamn corner. This is nuts. This is nuts. How does nobody work on a corner kick? Like, as you might as well just tack one on. It's like, just no, no, no. We'll just take the time. Just put one on, and then we'll take the ball. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. How can you guys not defend a fucking corner? And then Reece James runs into the box, gets tackled, and we actually get a penalty kick in the Premier League. Something rare. Something rare. This time, Kai Havertz does that weird. He's doing that weird step. That weird one step, take a long time, and then kick it. It's gonna bite him in the ass. It almost did in the
Yeah,
Champions.
I was really surprised that they didn't call that back and make him take it again, but
Yeah,
then I guess he moved just enough.
yeah. I'm not. I am not a fan of it. It was weird with Jorginho what he would do, and now with Kai Havertz, it's like anybody just kick the ball. Oh, there's one guy. Wasn't it Ivan Tony? Then Ivan Tony that just takes one step. It's amazing. Uh, but yeah, okay. So Chelsea's up 2-1, but Graham Potter decides to play prevent defense, gets rid of all his guys, and just decides he's going to fall back and allow pressure to come. Once again, it is the worst strategy you can make in football, in either kind, American or world football. Uh, why invite pressure? Why wait for a mistake? And of course, it's Koulibaly. Koulibaly got beaten, beaten like a redheaded stepchild from a kid who'd never scored before. Just runs right by him. And Kepa should have been better. It was not a great goal. Just along, he had plenty of time. Could have had his arm to it. I don't. He was going down so early on it. I don't know. Whatever. But so many again strange decisions. You see progress with Potter. You see him making progress, and then he likes to throw it all away. Why are you starting Christian Pulisic? What sense does that make? You know he is leaving in the summer. You know this. You know he has to go. Why aren't you playing Mudryk now? Why aren't you playing Mudryk now? It's bananas. And then you sub him off and you're bringing Gallagher in to run around and run back and run around and fall. Like he's supposed to be a defensive guy. You're supposed to be able to mark people, and you're just coming back on him. You're just coming back on him, coming back on him. It's frustrating when 1 point feels like a loss. Like it's a draw that it's a loss. It's a loss, and that lead never felt safe. Like when they go up 2-1, it's just it never. I was never convinced we were going to win that game. It's a terrible feeling when you know it's coming. They're gonna screw up. It's coming. They're gonna screw up. And taking off Joe Felix for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, another guy we're gonna lose, who's just not as good. Like unless these guys are picking up knocks that they aren't disclosing, it makes no sense. Mason Mount is basically not on the squad anymore. I don't know. I can't remember the last time he appeared for the club, all because he didn't want to sign a contract for more than 5 years. Like he didn't want to do one of the 8-year contracts, and now they're alienating him. He's going to end up going to Liverpool or something bananas. I know he hasn't had a great year, but he's been our best player for 2 years now. So, yeah, it's a real shame. Yeah, sorry, I got a little bit off on. I get a little bit off. I just don't understand. I just didn't understand why you invite pressure. Why are you inviting pressure? When you guys are attacking, they can't take the ball from you. That's defense. When they don't have the ball, that's the best defense. You guys just keep the ball. Have guys going forward all the time, keep the ball.
Yeah, I mean, what's that saying? Prevent defense prevents wins.
That's it.
I mean, I don't understand. Chelsea has played all year, really.
Yeah. Well, I keep thinking it's a thing where Potter just is like a kid with too many toys. You know what I mean? I think he loses focus, which is hard, which is tough to say about a man in charge of a huge club and stuff like that. But he just has too many pieces that he can put and stuff like that. He finally gets a shape that's working, going with that 3 in the back. Anyways, we get who do we get next? Is it Villa? I think we get Villa when we come back.
Yes, Villa.
Yeah. So another game at the Bridge. Hopefully, it's you hear of teachable moments. You hear of coachable moments. Maybe this is one for the actual goddamn coach. It's like play to win. Don't play not to lose. Play to win. You guys were looking great, like that. Like you come back out in the second half. You guys look great. Keep that up. That's what you want. Yeah. So it gets a little frustrating. But again, I'm watching another match. I'm watching Leeds and Wolves. Leeds ends up winning 4-2, but again, this time a second half that was bananas. Another banana second half. And again, it's Leeds somehow against the run of play up 3-0. And then here comes good old Wolves, score 2. One of them by Johnny. Johnny scores. Okay, I don't know what Melly was thinking. Well, I guess he made the clear, and then his midfielder just kind of flicks it over to the side, right onto Johnny's boot, who scores from 40 yards out. Yeah. 40.
That was an incredible goal. But should not have happened. But it was a pretty good goal.
That should not have happened. And then, of course, it's Cunha. After that, deflection or whatever, and it goes in, and everything's looking good. And then they're pushing again. They're pushing and pushing. And then Johnny, just for some reason, messes up his dribble and steps right on the guy's ankle. And ref goes yellow. VAR says, look at it again. Gives him a red card, which is correct. Now, that's a correct red card. And it should be the standard.
Yes.
Remember that even when it happens against Chelsea players, it's the standard. You step on a guy like that, you're out. And I think that was his second yellow, so that's why he's going. But It would have been a direct red card. I'm sure if this
I
guy
don't
didn't
know
have a
that he
yellow.
showed a second yellow. I'm pretty sure he just changed it to a red
I thought
card.
well, I think he had. Yeah, I don't know if he showed a yellow, and that's why VAR came in. Anyways, yeah, yeah, definitely a red card. But still, they're fighting. They're like Wolves still has control of the ball, one man down, and then Adama Traore has the ball on a wing and moving up,
Yep.
gets his shirt grabbed and pulled, and he goes back, stops the pull, stops running. He's done. He gets dispossessed. Everybody on the pitch stopped because they were sure here's the whistle. They were sure the whistle was coming for a free kick.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing that
Except for
except for
Rodrigo.
except for Rodrigo, who said, "Oh, I'm just going to keep going down here. I'm going to score, no problem."
Yeah.
Uh, Now they went to VAR on this as well, and they
Mm-hmm.
backed the ref. Here's the deal: Adama Traore may be one of the strongest, most powerful men in the Premier League. We've talked about it before. He
Yeah.
is huge. Uh, to stop his momentum would take an almighty feat, and this guy did it, just pulling on his shirt. How can they not find like this is like I don't know what VAR could have done to tell you the truth. They can't call it back for a red card. That's on the ref,
Yeah.
I guess. You have to blow the whistle there. What is I don't know what he's thinking. Like,
They
oh, I'm gonna
they
allow
could
this.
call it back for a foul in the build-up, though.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, again, they already made the decision that they can. Thank you, Tottenham v Chelsea, beginning of the year, because yeah,
Yeah.
they just won't do it. But yeah, so he goes in, scores another one, 4-2, big win for Leeds, and
Big win.
yeah, goddamn, poor Wolverhampton Wanderers. And now those two are going to be neck and neck. It looks like I think Wolves are just a point over Leeds now, with one less, or Leeds has played one less game, so they have a game in hand on them and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all this bottom of the table. It's fascinating stuff. Speaking of something that wasn't so fascinating, I don't know if that was a very good segue at all. But some team beat another team. And that was the last game on Sunday.
Yeah. Arsenal beat Crystal Palace 4-1. I
A rudderless ship.
Crystal Palace being coached by the under 21s coach there, I believe. I don't remember his
Mm-hmm.
name, Patty
Yeah,
something.
doesn't matter.
And at one point in time, the Arsenal fans started singing Patrick Vieira's name, which I thought was
Good.
interesting. It was
Yep,
good.
good.
Bukayo Saka scored twice. Martinelli
He's
and
terrific. He was terrific.
it's just great
Trossard,
game.
terrific.
Trossard was terrific.
Jaka,
Um,
terrific.
yeah, we played really well on Sunday, and
It's
it was
nice to
good.
have a no stress game. It would be real nice to
It's
have a
it's
game where
been
there's
really
no stress.
nice. It's been really nice the last couple of weeks to just have no stress in these games. It's like, okay, we did the cardiac kids thing for a couple of weeks, and we decided that's enough of that. I wasn't sure how this was going to go with playing Rob Holding in the back because William Saliba got injured in the Europa League game midweek, but he was fine. He wasn't really tested at all, but he was fine.
I think
Um,
there was a point in time where I think you guys were a little too loose, especially defensively in the second half. It was only for about 50 minutes, I think,
yeah,
when they allowed the goal and stuff like that. Where it's just like I
yeah,
think
we keep giving up
Academy may
goals
have
on
said like,
corner kicks.
guys, let's come on, let's go.
We do. We
So yeah,
keep giving up goals on corner kicks. That has to stop.
you finished the game well, uh,
We did.
but you started off so well.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so needed those points, and with City playing for the FA Cup in the FA Cup semifinal or in the quarterfinals, I guess. Uh, Gained even more ground, so it looks a little padded up
Yep.
there at 8. It looks a little padded at 8.
It
Um,
is.
yeah, the City still has to win their game, and
Yep.
City. Who knows with City? They're a fantastic club, but they fall asleep at the fucking
City's game
wrong
is against
time.
West Ham. Their game in
Yep,
hand. See,
they could
one
very
would One
They
would
could very
assume
well
they'd
fall
win
asleep.
that, but they've fallen asleep against teams like West Ham so far this year.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility that even that they could drop points there. If not if not three, then two. There's no so anything helps. Anything will help, and we're getting down to it now. I believe there is 10 games left on the year.
10
10
games
game
left.
10 games left in the year. Oh my
Arsenal
goodness
being out of
gracious.
the Europa League means that we just have those 10 games to concentrate on. City still being in the Champions League means they could play, I think, up to 18 or 19 more games. So,
They
with
have
them in
well
the
they got
Champions League, they're still in the FA
and the
Cup.
FA Cup. They got two more games, or possible two more games in the FA Cup. They got two in the quarters, two in the semis,
And the
one,
final.
and then the final, and then what they
And
have
they
left.
still
So
and they
11
have yeah,
games
and they
left.
still have 11 games left. So that's a
That's a
potential
lot.
18
They got
games they could still play.
again. They got so many players that they can move in and out and stuff like that. And Kevin De
Yeah.
Bruyne not happy being there. It's like so strange, so strange.
Yeah, it
That
is
whole
weird.
thing is yeah. Oh well, Pep Guardiola. I think he might have a bit of an ego, but whatever. That's fine. It's
Just
his
a
club.
bit.
Yeah, he'll never win the Champions League with them, but that's fine. Never. They'll never do it. Okay, so let's talk about that FA Cup now. Sheffield
Yes.
Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday. Still going. All right, good for you. City's playing. I can't remember who Manchester United is going to play because I've been focused on just what happened in those 36 seconds. Fulham had been up 1-0 and were supposedly like
Man City is
dominating. They
playing
were
Sheffield
dominating.
United, and Man United is playing Brighton in
Oh
the
yeah,
FA
sure,
Cup
Brighton. Yeah,
semifinals.
Brighton and Hove. That'll be a tough match too. That'll be a good match for Brighton. Um, so yes, 30. Okay, Fulham has been in the lead for a little while, dominated the entire game supposedly, and then uh, for some reason, a shot's coming in. The goalie is has made a mess of things or whatever. He's lying face down.
Yeah.
He comes around him, shot on net. Willian, for some reason, goes like this.
Yeah, puts out his
Lost the
arm,
ball,
bats it away.
and then puts his puts his hand into his chest and starts
Yeah.
pointing at his hand. It's like, no, you don't do that at all. And for I guess the goal or the ref was in a bad position. The referee Chris Kavanaugh. Okay, uh, in a bad position. It goes to VAR. Now, this is where the interesting stuff happens. When he goes to VAR, it's going to be an obvious call. It's going to be an obvious call. But Marco Silva has been going bananas lately, and
Yeah.
uh, I guess they have not been happy with Chris Kavanaugh at Fulham for some time. I guess there was a game against West Ham earlier this year. It looked like a clear and obvious penalty should have been called against Mitrovic in the box, and it wasn't called and stuff like that. So they're a club that feels that this ref has something against him, and he might. English fucking refereeing is so bad.
Yep.
Here's the thing: you do not start berating the guy just as he's going to the thing. You can't
No,
do it,
you
especially when you're
don't.
on his fourth official the entire game. He has enough. Gives him the red card. So it's not a big deal. It's just a manager. But
Yeah.
Willian, it's a it's a 2 second thing to look at. You can see the arm go out to stop the
Yeah,
ball.
and it would have been a goal if Willian had not done that. So
Or if he would have kept his body in, it probably just would have went off his body. It was,
yeah.
yeah, it was close. Uh, yeah, it's something that he never needed to do in a million years. Uh, anyways, he gets sent off, and then Mitrovic loses his fucking mind and
Yep.
does one of the worst things you can do in sports. And everyone, and there's gonna be knuckle draggers uh, around or whatever saying it's not such a big deal. It's like you cannot put your fucking hands on a ref ever. Never.
Yeah.
It's bad enough when all you guys get in their faces and they're not giving you guys yellow cards and red cards. That should be a red card offense. You guys show zero respect. You're not going to get any respect. Uh, but even the whole thing was just him going like this at him because referees in the English leagues are incredibly arrogant and feel they don't have to speak. So he just had his head up like this and was walking away from him. And Mitrovic went nuts, pushes him around, then gets in his face again. A lot of pointing and stuff like this. Gets red carded. Fernandez goes to the spot. He scores and scores again, and then they lose the game. They lose the game in the last 15 minutes because they lose their season in the last 15 minutes because one person, two people actually, went bananas. Poor Willian. Like,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was the poor guy was red carded and he knew it, and he was the one trying to be peacekeeper out there. And it was it was not a great scene. Now, Alexander Mitrovic is not going to get a 3-game ban. He's already been suspended this year. He's not going to get like the most in the 90s. A player full on pushed a referee to the ground. He was given 11 games. That
Yeah.
was in the 90s. Um, I know that the referee association uh, want a lot, like possibly the end of the year, like a dozen games. If it goes a dozen games, I'm not unhappy with that decision.
No,
Something's got to
me
be
either.
something like, and it was with the Fernandez. You want to talk about the Fernandez thing against Liverpool? Has it's not close. The uh, the sideline ref had his hand on Fernandez first, was putting away, and then Fernandez put his hand on his back. That's it. There was no push or anything. That was it. It's
Yeah,
apples and
what
oranges. The two
Mitrovic did
calls.
was much different. Much
Yeah,
different.
and aggressive, and you could see it in his body language.
Yeah.
He was so
He
angry.
was squaring up to him.
He wanted to hurt this guy. He wanted to hurt this guy, and
Yeah.
you could see it. And any kind of professionalism was gone. It was done. Yeah, if he goes for the rest of the year, good, good.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing about you got to teach the grassroots and stuff like that, the kids today and stuff like that about it is like this shouldn't make any difference, and it should always have been there anyways. Like who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares about the suspension for the grassroots? You do it for the professionals who can go nuts, like Mitrovic, where if you're gonna do something like that, you're gonna cost yourself and your team a dozen games. That's a third of the season because of that stupid act. And if you do it again, if you do anything like it again, that's it. You're out of a career. So uh, I hope they throw it. And he does play for Fulham, and I frigging hate Fulham, as you know. I hate him,
Hmm.
but I liked Mitrovic. I've talked about him a few times
Yeah.
this year. I liked him.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked when his aggression is focused on the pitch, going to goal. I like it. He was, I don't think he was a particularly dirty player. I think he had instances where he wasn't the best. But yeah, I never saw him as a particularly dirty player. Now he's going to be stained. He's stained forever. His career will ever be this and what he did on Saturday. Bullshit. What a guy or
Yeah.
Sunday. Uh, so Mitrovic, what do you? How many games do you see? Like I say, like a dozen, fine. But how many do you actually see?
Um, I don't know. I was thinking maybe somewhere 6 to 8 is where they
Yep.
might compromise down to. Not that there should be a compromise on this. You cannot put your hands on the referee. You just can't, and you can't square up to the referee and get in their face like that. And he deserved that red card. He's going to deserve whatever suspension they give him. I hope they
Yep.
give him the rest of the season. I really do, because it needs to. Because some guy, even just getting 6 or 8 games isn't enough of a deterrent, I think, for other players from doing the same.
Yeah. Fulham. We're at one time fighting, trying to get European spots. They've fallen down to ninth now. They're just a point up on Chelsea. Um,
Yeah.
I think Chelsea will overtake them now. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Um, into what? Who cares? Chelsea top, they're going to finish this ninth or eighth, like tops.
Yeah.
So who cares? But for Fulham, this was a building year. Like it was going so well. They were deep into the FA Cup. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's
They've
the
had a
kind of thing.
tremendous season, Fulham. I think we both had them going down again
Yeah,
this year when we
yeah.
did our preseason predictions.
Mostly
They've
because of
played
hate.
tremendous.
Mostly because of hate.
Well, and because Fulham sort of has that pattern of coming up and not doing very well and going back
Yeah.
down.
Hmm.
Um, they've had a tremendous season, and it's a shame that this had to happen. When I saw that, Ferris is the one that told me about this yesterday, and immediately went to the highlights. When I saw the highlights, I was like, "Oh yeah, he's gone for a while now,"
Yeah.
and I don't know, I don't know how long Marco Silva's gonna be gone because he got
He's
the red
another guy.
card, and he criticized the referee in his post-match press conference.
Never apologized. Not once.
Never.
Nobody on Fulham has apologized. The club
No.
hasn't said a word about it.
No.
Yeah, ridiculous. Just shows
I
their
mean,
class. Showing their class.
Willian is the one that comes out of this looking the best, and he's the one that gave up the penalty and and it was the initial inciting incident here. So,
Yeah.
um,
He's a Chelsea man
I think that he was also an Arsenal man for a time.
for a year.
I think that they need to make an example out of Mitrovic, and
They do.
I wouldn't be all that mad if Marco Silva was gone for a few games as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He. There's. This has got to be the line in the sand where it says enough, enough. I'm
Yeah.
so tired of all these people surrounding the ref all the time. This
Yeah.
is why you have captains and stuff like that. They do the talk. You'll see it in hockey or whatever. When the penalties get sorted out, the captain or the
I've
assistant captain or whoever's there is on the ice. They're the
yeah.
only ones that can go and do into the talking and
I've
stuff like that.
long
Enough.
been a proponent of them adopting the situation that they have in rugby where only the captains can talk to the referee.
Yep. Yep.
I think that would be a much better
It works.
situation. It does.
Yeah. It would
Because you don't
stop the
see
freaking
that in
lunacy.
rugby, and
Lunacy. That isn't,
yeah,
guys, that isn't passion. That's a tantrum. They're having tantrums out there.
yeah,
You're watching grown men from around the world have tantrums. You have one guy to go and talk about it. That's it. One guy. Each. You
yeah,
can both argue at the same time. You can state a case. It's never going to change their mind anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's organized. That way it's organized. The other way it's chaos. And it looks terrible. It looks terrible. It looks like your league is a goddamn joke.
yeah,
Get it? Yeah. They have to do this. They have to do this. They have to come down hard on him. They have to down hard on Silva. They have to tell people enough is enough. That's it. Otherwise, you guys are gonna get it too. Like it sets the bar.
yeah.
12 games sets the bar. So we'll see what happens. It's
Yeah,
still
we'll see.
still the FA. It's still the FA. It's probably be 6 games. But yeah,
It's still the FA who I one of the things that astounded me this weekend is I was watching Brentford, and they brought up that Ivan Toney's been called into the England squad.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney, who's facing a lengthy ban for betting on the game, is in the England squad.
He can score.
It's
That's
just
all they care
so
about.
ridiculous. I know it's all they care about, but it's just so ridiculous, and like they need to get better handles on these things and not doing things like this.
It's bananas. It's bananas. Well, hopefully, when we come back in 2 weeks, we'll have more. We'll have an answer. But what the hell is going on with Mitrovic? What's going on with Silva? What's going on with Fulham? A toilet of an organization. Okay. So we do have predictions. So we're going to come back on April Fool's Day. April 1st. April Fool's. And a pretty good match to start the week. We got City and Liverpool first.
Who won this week?
Oh, shoot. I didn't even mention it. Oh, somebody won. Somebody that wasn't me. You won 4-3. Yeah, it was that draw. That 9. Yeah, 9. God damn. That hand. Come on. What are you doing? Unbelievable. When you drop to the ground because you know exactly what you did. Oh my god. Anyways, yes.
Yeah.
You win again, and I'm not happy about it. But I
Okay.
respect it. I respect it. So this week, City, Liverpool at the Etihad.
I'm gonna go with City. Even though Liverpool beat them at Anfield earlier this year, I'm still gonna go with City.
Yeah, and they looked really good when they did that, and then they come back and they lost, I think, the next week. So who knows with Liverpool, but I'm going to pick City as well because I need the win. Because if I just pick Liverpool, I'm throwing points away. Uh, oh, and what could be an interesting match? Uh, Good old AFC Burnmouth versus the Fulham goddamn football club.
Oh, this is really hard to predict without knowing what's gonna happen with the suspensions. But I might go for a draw here. I
I
don't
like
think
it.
Bournemouth can beat Fulham, but I don't know if Fulham can beat Bournemouth
I'm
without.
gonna I'm gonna say they do. I'm gonna pick
Okay,
Bournemouth just because I think that would be phenomenal. That
it
would
would
be
be funny.
so funny. Arsenal and Leeds.
Arsenal.
Leeds are scoring goals left and right. What? Oh, you're gonna pick
Lead, lead,
the table leaders and your favorite club? That's weird.
yes, I am.
I'm picking them too. I got them too. All right. Ooh, this game could be something as well. Brighton and Hove Albion versus the Brentford Bees.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
I
At
think
home,
I'm gonna go with Brighton because they're at home, but I could see it being a draw. But I don't want to predict who draws.
right? BHA. This is the one I'm picking as a draw. Hopefully, it's a bunch of goals, though. Hopefully, it's a bunch of goals. I can see
Yeah,
this game being really entertaining.
I could see this being the game of the week.
Yes. I can see this next one, not unless chaos. And chaos may be a good thing to watch football for, but
Yeah.
Crystal Palace and Leicester.
Ooh,
Yeah. Clawing, scratching, trying to
that's
get
at
out.
Palace, right?
It's at Palace.
I imagine Palace will have a new manager by then, so I'm gonna go with Palace at
Oh,
home.
okay. I'm gonna go with Leicester. Um, who knows if Palace is gonna have a who are they gonna like? Some of the names that you've heard of are like Jesse Marsh and like everybody that's gotten fired this year. Hoot and Toodle was his name. The
Austin
first
Hoople. Yeah.
Toodle. I hope he gets hired again just so I can say his name every week. I'll do it on purpose. I'll go out of my way to do it. Now, the next match, again, this bottom table stuff, but it's going to be interesting. Forest playing at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
I think I'm gonna go Forest.
They do two things. I say this every week.
Yep.
They they score on the run and they win at home. So I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to say they win as well. Hopefully, get more out of Brendan Johnson, who was a no-show this week. Absolute no-show. Um, Now, Chelsea and Villa.
Chelsea.
I'm watching. I was watching. All right. Yes, Chelsea. Hopefully, learn from your goddamn mistakes, jerks. They should win, no problem. West Ham and Southampton. Who knows?
Um, West Ham's at home. I'll go West Ham.
West Ham now the villains in Ted Lasso. The craziest thing I've ever. You know, it's a work of fiction when they're predicting West Ham to be the favorites to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
West Ham. Just to see that stadium and those colors, it honestly made me uncomfortable. West Ham. I'm gonna pick Southampton. Fuck them.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We said Brighton and Brentford might be the game of the week. This one might be a close runner-up. Newcastle and Manchester United.
I'm gonna go Man United.
Ooh, Wow. All right. I'm picking Castle at home.
Okay.
An informed Castle. Because who knows what you're going to get out of Manchester United these past few weeks? Who friggin'
That's
knows?
true.
The last match, Dyche's surprising Everton and the piece of shit Spurs. Could be rudderless.
Could be rudderless. Could also have a new manager by then.
Yeah.
I mean, it is 2 weekends from now.
I'm surprised they just don't
I
have
will take
player manage.
I will take Spurs.
I'm going to take Everton.
Okay.
Again, it's out of spite. So again, I say, I need the points. I'm gonna win, and then I'm like, there's no way I'm picking Spurs. I don't care. I don't care what the logic says. I'm picking Everton because fuck the Spurs. Honestly, terrible.
Yeah.
What a horseshit organization. But anyways, we're not gonna find out for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. What are we gonna do in the meantime?
I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna be doing playoff beers this Friday. That'll keep us busy.
We are going to be doing playoff beards this weekend, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see Snark and me on playoff beards this weekend. Go up on Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific. Oh, you have a hockey stick.
Oh, sure.
Mini hockey stick with you.
This one's a classic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today on the show. If you're interested in helping support the network, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/LGR_network. $1 a month gets you into our Discord. If you are on the $15 tier, you can appear on one of the shows every month. And we have our buddy Ryan Christensen cashing in that appearance on a show this month. He's going to be on Playoff Beards with us this weekend. If you want to be on Starting 11, that's the way to do it.
That's right.
We'd love to have you on.
Yes.
We also have annual memberships available for the Patreon. If you want to pay for the whole year in advance and help support us in that way, that would be great. Snark, where can the people find you?
You'll be able to find me on Playoff Beards. Hopefully, more things in the future. We also have LGRN After Snark. It's a Patreon exclusive show where we get together and we talk about the news of the day in a very serious and somber way. And you can try to find me on, well, it's probably easy to find me on Twitter at Snarketti. Just that I don't do a goddamn thing on there except for like other people's posts, like LGRN's.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Adelia Chambo. I got questioned by Danny as to why I was posting on Twitter when I said I wasn't going to post on Twitter all that much anymore. I said sometimes I still do.
Yeah.
So sometimes I post things. Most of the time I just retweet the LGR Network Twitter handle, LGR_network on Twitter there as well. And thank you for joining us once again, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.